Welcome to the Straight Out of Home Video podcast, part of the Geeky Waffle Network.
Welcome to a very special crossover between Space Waffles and Straight Out of Home Video. I am Arezou, and with me are Candace.
Hey.
Bree.
Hi.
And our special guest and waffle contributor, Noor-Hal.
Hello.
So today we are talking about a Star Wars home video, aka Lego Star Wars Terrifying Tales, the new Lego Star Wars Halloween special that just came out this past week. So this is continuing last year's trend from Lego Star Wars Holiday Special of a seasonal adventure with our sequel trilogy characters, or one sequel trilogy character touching on legacy, but we will get there. Before we get into it, initial thoughts.
It was adorable.
I love the horror references in it.
Noor-Hal?
It was cute. I love the references from Treehouse of Horror from The Simpsons.
Loose premise, as just a reminder, is that Poe Dameron is on the run from the First Order, the last remnants of the First Order. One of them shoots his X-Wing. He's in trouble, so he lands on Mustafar, which we last saw in The Rise of Skywalker, all those gnarly trees and everything. So he needs help. His ship is broken, and he happens to see Castle Vader from the comics, and he's like, hey, let's go ask for some help at Castle Vader. Gets there and finds Graballa the Hutt, Hutt we haven't seen before, I don't believe.
Yes, we have.
We have. Where?
From the Freemaker Adventures.
Okay, there you go. I haven't seen the Freemaker.
I love the Freemakers Adventures. They're actually an Emmy award-winning show, I would like to say.
Okay,
And
I guess I'm going to have to watch it.
it's adorable. It's Legos, but it was super cute and has a lot of heart to it. So that's another episode. I make Arezou watch that.
There we go. You don't have to make me. I just need to make the time. That's the difference. But okay, we see Graballa the Hutt from the Freemaker Adventures turning Castle Vader into an all-inclusive Sith resort, which seemed like excellent timing, given that a couple days ago we also found out when we'll be able to start booking the Galactic Star Cruiser. So we love it when it all comes together. They meet this kid, Dean, who works for Graballa, and is like, hey, Poe, I can fix your X-Wing. Poe's like, sweet. Graballa wants him to be a spokesperson.
Person.
Poe person. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But before they can do that, they are approached by Vinay, who, as we see in a little stinger at the start of the special, used to work for Vader back when Vader lived in the castle. So he doesn't want to let them go and is like, no, I'm going to tell you a story. Don't you want to know the secret of this helmet? And for those who read the comics, it's the helmet of Ren, the original master of the Knights of Ren, which does ring a bell for Poe because he has heard of Kylo Ren before.
Yeah. Flashback to him being tortured by Kylo Ren.
I know.
Well, you know.
Do you talk or I talk first?
I mean, you know. So I have very strong feelings about where this goes, but let's just get right into it. So he's curious enough to ask to hear the story, and we get our first short, The Lost Boy, which I would just like to reiterate once again, Disney, if you had told me in December 2019 that I would be getting new Ben Solo content on my birthday, I wouldn't have believed you, but that's what I got, so thank you. The Lost Boy is our first special, which is how Ben fell to the Knights of Ren and how he came to take over. It is a very lighthearted, cleaned up version of Charles Soule's Rise of Kylo Ren comic.
Yeah.
There is far more 80s montage and beach partying.
The Lost Boy. It's
The Lost Boys. It's
Yes.
Lost Boys.
There you go.
One of my favorite vampire films. Christian Slater plays Ren. Right?
Yes.
The actual knight.
Yes.
And well, one, he's in Heathers, which is another great 80s classic. But his character is modeled off Kiefer Sutherland's vampire in Lost Boys.
With a
And
mullet.
they have
I knew he looked familiar. Oh my god.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they have the iconic bridge scene where they're hanging off a bridge and fall into like the fog. I was so happy when I saw that. I was like, I get this reference.
Can we
Yeah,
talk
but
about
right before
how angsty Kylo is? It's just what I always imagined he would be as a
when he's
teen.
having his nightmare, it was like Nightmare on Elm Street when all the kids are around him.
Yes.
Give me that
Wait.
vibe.
Noor-Hal, do you like horror movies?
I have watched some, but I'm not really into it.
Bree's looking for a horror
Bree's like-
movie.
It definitely was Freddy Krueger's nightmare sequence, especially when he hovered over Ben. I was like, that's Freddy.
Yes.
Reference to Freddy.
Yeah, so basically, as we are getting at, it is, him joining the Knights of Ren via several horror films, minus the murdering of your best friend in cold blood, and far more horror references, which is probably best when you're showing things to 8-year-olds.
I agree.
Ben Solo, I just loved when he was like, oh, I can do this so much better than them. It just reminded me of Anakin a whole lot too.
Yeah,
He's an
Anakin's
angsty
grandson.
boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Especially
like,
Lego Anakin. Which
Yes.
there are a lot of like droid tales and stuff like that, and it's just like Anakin being so angsty and like being so upset at Obi-Wan. He's like, I'm the chosen one. That's him
Yeah.
now. It's a Lego thing. So yeah.
It was this
So
is one of my
Anakin's born.
favorites.
Yeah. And we also learned which was the favorite dish from Ben Solo, the roast chip dip in bantha sauce or something like that.
Yeah, Chewie's a cook.
Chewie cook. We also we learned something else. We learned the origin of the word Kylo.
Yes.
See, I always assume that he just took his name, Ben Solo, with Skywalker, and just took the letters.
Makes sense.
Like Voldemort?
Yeah, like Voldemort, because Ben, Ren,
That
Kai,
feels like
Lo.
Yeah.
that to me. I always thought they wanted to call him Kyle, and then thought that like that's not Star Warsy enough. Like before he was Ben Solo, and they just wanted to give him a name. And they're like, it's Kylo. Yeah, that's science. Like, that's what I thought it was, but no, it apparently means crybaby. In what language we don't know, but it means crybaby.
Yeah.
But it's
And he embraces it and decides that he's down, and that's what this means.
It fits. Totally fits.
Oh yeah, well he's a baby boy. I yelled baby boy a lot during the special. My family loved it. It was fine. Conspiracy mode time.
Oh no.
Here it is. You all know where
Bring
this is
it.
going. This is the way that they're gonna bring Ben Solo back.
Oh no.
Because he this is where we are visually clarifying that he didn't destroy the temple, because he didn't in the comics. And most people are like, yes, he did. And it's like, no, read the comics. So they put it in a cartoon that is free to watch if you have Disney Plus, first of all. Second of all, in explaining his backstory like this to the general audience outside of reading material, you are making it more accessible and more familiar to people, so
Like
that
me.
eventually when they pull him out of whatever afterlife he's fallen into, that way is open. Candace, I see the way you're looking at me.
Yes.
Wait, how would
It's Legos.
Look at
I
my
know,
smile.
that's fine, but that doesn't mean we can't take it for what it is.
Yeah, but
And,
okay,
like-
if you watch the Freemakers Avengers, it's obviously so far from canon.
Right, but this isn't that far removed. Like the themes are still consistent. The characterization is still fairly consistent.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's fair to just dismiss it just because it's Lego. Do you know what I mean? When I am right, not if. I'm going to send you this episode and be like, see? And that's all I'm going to say.
It's going to be like 20 years from now.
I will
believe
save a version of this episode and take it with me laptop to laptop so I can send this to you in 20 years.
I will say
Arezou
what you
calling
were
me on
talking
hologram.
about it. What you were saying about it being accessible to other people, like that's true, because I haven't read the books, and I honestly was going to ask you guys if the Knights of Ren was made up, because I thought he created the Knights of Ren. So
Knights of Ren
Yeah.
are technically in the movies. They're just a throwaway line.
They're throwaway. They're not in The Last Jedi, and then they're in The Rise of Skywalker, standing intimidatingly on a cliff, and then Ben kills them all later.
It was,
and that's it.
He created that. Group.
No, so in the Rise of Kylo Ren comic, it basically unfolds the way this special does, but obviously a lot more intense and like aimed at adults, or older readers, I should say. But basically, like the same thing. Like Ren with the fabulous gray hair comes and basically tries to court Kylo over. And Kylo, being frustrated with his position in life and like having the voices in his head and all that, sees more of a future for himself this way rather than at Luke's temple. The voices in his head being like Snoke and Palpatine.
Doesn't Snoke though visit him
in the comic as well? Like he's in his head, like from when he's like little, and then when Ben's old enough to like go places on his own, he goes and sees Snoke like in person. I think it's after the temple. After the temple falls,
After the temple,
he
yeah.
goes and sees Snoke.
And okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
But like the loose structure of this is the Rise of Kylo Ren comic. It's just, you know, with jokes rather
Yeah,
than
that's why Charles got a special thanks
yeah.
in the credits.
Yes.
That's good to know, because otherwise I would not have done that.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, this is their way of gradually easing the idea of Kylo Ren's backstory into mainstream visual media. I'm not saying that Castle Vader is also an all-inclusive Sith resort, because I'm not stupid. But like, you know.
I kind of want
Hey.
to go to it now, though.
It would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just saying, hey, if the Galactic Star Cruiser does good, they just
Maybe.
create another one.
I'll
Like
just
this-
make a Sith castle.
Yeah, it's this
That would be cool.
I mean,
It would be
I'm
cool.
just saying that layout of the little gift shop in the lobby looks an awful lot like the First Order gift shop at Galaxy's Edge, layout wise.
There you go.
Mhm.
Draw what you know, I guess.
The animatronics, like a Vader and stuff, it reminds me of what's his face, the shopkeeper animatronic, and the
Oh, Doc Ondar.
yeah,
Very Batu.
yeah, very but you.
All right, so moving on from Ben Solo returning inevitably in canon via the Lost Boy, we are on to our second short, which is happens a little further on after Vinay has led them deeper into the castle and is trying to get them to do something. They find a Sith saber called the Saber of Skardant that breaks, and Dean's like, I'll fix it. And then they tell the story of the saber in the form of the dueling monstrosities, which pits Grievous and Maul against each other, trying to find this ancient Sith saber for Palpatine. And can I say that the only Palpatine I enjoy anymore is Lego Palpatine?
He is freaking
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I
so
love
funny.
him so much. He's in the Freemaker Adventures, and he is just so sassy. He is so mean to Vader. I love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's a character. Yeah, and the holiday special he always also shines.
Oh yeah, he was hilarious in that one too.
It's just such a specific note of like a specific kind of cartoon character, like this very specific archetype that he just fits so well, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the most palatable kind of Palpatine.
Yeah.
So other than that, I think what's notable about this short is the humor. I think like the pratfalls, the physical humor, the puns. Maul just delivering one pun after another.
Yeah, and he keeps his spider legs.
Not
Well,
built himself out of trash.
We have feelings about Maul.
I know.
Well, Brie doesn't, but
Yeah,
most of the waffle are
we
fans
do.
of Maul.
Oh yes.
Wait, like
Yeah,
fans or like fans?
like,
Second one. Last.
Fans.
Okay.
Like
like
Maul?
we stand
Maul.
We've done this before, Brie. We've talked about this before.
I know. I think
I will say,
I think I was traumatized when I put that out of my mind.
I like Maul. I prefer his brother.
Oh,
I've got a
the
thing for
brother?
Savaggio Press I can't even begin to explain.
That name always just
He's
cracks
a
me
fancy
up.
French boy.
Savaggio Press.
Savaggio Press. I love him so
This is
much
my
and I can't
brother.
explain
I'm
it.
Maul, and this is Savage.
Wait,
Like
when does
Maul,
he get a brother?
Feral, and
Oh, boy.
Savage. Like, come on now. Anyway,
Off topic.
off
off
topic.
topic.
So, all right. So, anybody else want to share their thoughts on the dueling monstrosities?
I had the vibes like Frankenstein. Kind of some
Yeah,
vibes.
I got like that as well with the whole creating
Both of them.
legs, but that happens though.
Ish. He makes the spider legs himself, right?
Yeah,
and
when
then
he's
Mother
in,
tells
like, the
him,
junkyard.
yeah, he makes himself spider legs out of garbage, while he's living in a pile of trash, and then when he gets home to Dathomir, Mother Talzin gives him like two legs,
Two legs,
and
which
better
are
ones,
yeah,
like mechanical legs.
Yeah,
I
and-
definitely got. Oh, sorry.
no. That was gonna say that the last set of legs that he has is the I think the Mandalorians, the Death Watch, are the ones who repair them.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is going over Bree's head. It's a lot.
It is.
It's
It's
a
a
lot.
lot.
This is
It's a
incentive
lot.
to watch the shows, Brie.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can see what the big deal about Maul is.
I think once you get to the Maul arcs, you'll get it. Why
You'll get it. Maybe
You'll
not
get
when he's like
crazy?
a wild
Cray-cray?
man on a pile of trash, but after that,
Spider-Man on a pile of trash.
You make him sound like he has like a ball there, like Wilson, that he just talks to.
he's about this far away from exactly that.
Really
Got
close.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but once he drinks some
cleans up,
water, then he's okay.
Join society
Yes.
a little bit, talks to
And
other
he gets
people.
all growly and angry.
Oh yes.
And then his brother, who's taller than he is, anyway.
I love this, and I could probably I need to watch it, and then
And then we'll see. We'll revisit this conversation.
Besides Frankenstein vibes, the three sisters reminded me of the three witches in Macbeth as well.
Yes.
And I didn't know if they're having, some Shakespearean duel, of betrayal and everything. I thought that was kind of neat.
The Night Sisters are very much witches.
Yes.
Yes.
Force witches, yeah.
And they're scary because one thing I noticed here is that the voices were different than in the Clone Wars, because in the Clone Wars they give some vibe like a gray voice, while Mother Talzin is talking like really scary, like, oh my god, she's possessed or something.
But it was Sam Witwer playing Maul again. And he's equal. Maul has this baseline of intensity that is always at least 75% above everybody else's intensity at any given moment.
Yes.
He maintains that exact same level of intensity throughout this entire short, while everybody else is very aware they're in a Lego special. This Maul is just the animated Maul, but in brick Kenobi. He might as well be howling Kenobi in the desert. Like, that is where he's operating.
That's why we love him. He's such a little drama king.
Yes.
We stand a drama king.
He also does this thing in this, which he obviously doesn't do in the show, where he's like narrating his little abilities. He's like whispering force leap to himself and then like hopping.
Yeah.
Force leap.
I was just like, what is happening?
That was so much fun.
Cracked me up.
Also, General Grievous, I love his wheezing.
Yeah.
And when he's
dying
coughing.
droid. Yeah.
I liked that we got a bit of backstory for Grievous. Like, I'm trying to think if we see that elsewhere. We don't really.
We don't even get that in Clone Wars, really.
No.
Like, the details of it. The only reason, I feel like we know is because, Star Wars encyclopedias come out. Or,
Yeah. But even then, I haven't seen the relevant encyclopedias. This was the first time I was getting this information.
Let me see.
Another thing they're
I've
bringing
seen
to the mainstream is General Grievous's backstory.
I agree.
Yeah,
because
first time we heard his full name, in something out loud, not in a book.
Yeah. Which I think is one thing these things are great for. If you have little tidbits like that you need to drop, you want to drop in somewhere and you can't do it organically any other way, put it in a Lego special. And then, now it's out there. Final thoughts on the Dueling Monstrosities.
I love those two.
it was so fun.
And evil palps.
So they, on their little frame narrative, they get even further along. They find a Sith holocron, and Vinay tells Dean that this can grant his wishes, whatever he wants. And we have the whole lead into be careful what you wish for, yada yada. And then they sort of back and forth seem to suggest that there's the tale of the Wookiee's paw, which is like the monkey's paw that we all know. A very classic be careful what you wish for story. So they tell this story, the tale of the Wookiee's paw, which is the closest thing we're going to get right now to a Star Wars what if. And that is essentially what if Luke got everything he wanted right when he wanted it.
This is my favorite, honestly, because it reminded me of an AU fan fiction that I've definitely read. What if Luke actually joined the Imperials? He was trying to in A New Hope. He was trying to become pilot for the Empire. So what would happen if Vader actually, be like Skywalker? I knew a Skywalker. That's your kid, dude.
Yeah, it's your son.
I like that he doesn't put that together out loud in the special. He's like, he's like, I knew a Skywalker. You remind me of myself, but like, I mean, I'm sure mentally he put it together, but he doesn't ever.
Or
express
he's
it.
like so in deep with like what believing everything Palp says that he believes like he killed his wife and kid.
Yeah.
This is a cousin.
Yes.
Yes, this is like a cousin I didn't know about and stuff like that. And can we talk about the fact that so he's training Luke and Vader's on Luke's back,
Okay.
and then they're crossing the Death Star. Not only do we get the Yoda backpack reference, we also get the Princess Leia kissing the cheek thing
For
for
luck.
luck.
I should say we were watching this. I was watching with my brother and his girlfriend, and one of them was like, he's gonna kiss him on the cheek. And then he did, and we missed the next couple lines because we lost it. It's
I
just
know.
like such
It
a
was
move
so
for
fun.
luck.
I was
And then
like,
Luke's
are they gonna do that? Because once I got to there and the music started, I was like, wait. And
finally,
I
this is
lost
going.
my mind. I
lost
lost my
it.
mind.
But they end up, training their way through the Death Star, and then Luke wants some form of glory because he has wished to be greater than Vader. And he
Yeah.
gets his opportunity when the rebel ships arrive to attack the Death Star. Obi-Wan is there as
I
a rebel
know!
pilot, even though Obi-Wan doesn't much care for flying. Obi-Wan is there as
Also,
a pilot.
Leia is a pilot too.
Leia's
Yeah, I
the
know.
leader. Like
Yeah.
she's
Leia is
Mhm.
the leader.
leader of whatever color squadron went out. And despite this, Luke ends up blowing up the Death Star anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By accident.
By accident.
By accident. And it's like you said, how the Lego has this ability to let them play with it and introduce those facts. And I don't think we've seen Leia flying, like piloting before.
No.
I think, well, in comics, again, Shattered Empire, she was on Naboo when Operation Cinder, but before that, like in live action or comic or
I feel like we just seen her kind of like help co-pilot the
yes,
Falcon,
Yeah.
but nothing like
We've
Like
never seen her
herself.
like in an X-wing.
no, definitely not a single fighter pilot kind of thing.
yeah, and
But
she's also Anakin Skywalker's daughter, so
Yeah.
And you gotta think like princess training includes, piloting or at least like something kind of like that.
I feel
Like in an
the
emergency.
Ships were
Yeah.
so ubiquitous in Star Wars. I always thought like piloting a ship was like learning to drive a car.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like there you can drive a car to the grocery store or you can race Formula 1, but like the baseline skill is there.
And I feel
driving
like
the car, you know what I mean?
Bale and Briha would be like, we know what's going to happen. We know what's happening right now in the galaxy. Our girl needs every skill she can get.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, final thoughts on the Wookiees pod before we wrap up the special.
Be careful what you wish for.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
So
Oh, there was a little cameo of Watto at the beginning.
yes.
I
Yes.
love that.
Okay, when Watto is
Also-
like approaching Luke, I'm like, Luke, back it up. You don't want to talk to this guy.
Run away.
Funny story about this man and his history, if you will.
Also, I heard like some people were talking about how the one of the Imperials were possibly like one of the characters from Battlefront 2.
Versio?
N-
Aiden's
no,
dad?
No, Aiden's 1 second, sorry. Let me
Oh,
look again.
Delmico.
Delmico, yeah.
Delmico, yeah.
Which I mean, it
Also-
kind of looked like him.
The other thing I enjoyed is that
Delmico's a
yeah, I want to
Delphin.
be a pilot, and we have an extra pilot. Oh,
Just give it to him.
He's too short to be a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
I love that.
One thing I think I enjoy overall about Lego specials, like this one, the last one, is when they get like lightly meta. I don't like the wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Did you get it? Did you get it? Every 2 seconds. But when it's things like he's too short to be a stormtrooper. If you don't get it, you don't get it. If you get it, you think it's funny, but it doesn't
Mhm.
impact your enjoyment of things either
Mhm.
way. It's still a funny line, whether or not you get that it's a reference to something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that very much about Lego. So the special basically wraps up with Vinay becoming a giant droid thing with Ren's
Transformer?
helmet. Like he turns
Transformers.
straight up.
With
Yes.
the Sith holocron, which I don't think we've seen the Sith holocron do anything except like try to turn Ezra to the dark side. Also, we
Yeah.
saw it as like a wayfinder. I'm still not over that, y'all.
It's a different device. I can't believe I'm defending Wayfinders. You know what? I'm just going to back it up.
It
This-
looks the same. Sorry.
It does look the same. The Sith like their triangles. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But no, there's also like, are the other ones squares? The
Yeah, Jedi holocrons are cubes.
cubes.
Our
Okay.
cubes.
I think I'm still mad about it because I just went to like Galaxy's Edge and they're like selling them for like $50, and I'm like, at least get the name right if you're gonna try to like sell it for that much. Okay, off topic.
So Sith holocrons are also arc reactors, apparently. Is all I could think when he needed it to power the suit. And then it ends, I guess, basically the way you would expect. We've got zombie battle droids. We've got Dean discovering he knows how to use the Force. We've got BB-8 as a pumpkin.
We have the reference to The Shining.
Yes.
I love that
Which was
moment.
great.
And
When
Poe with his skull.
Yeah, when the droid is trying to say, "Here comes insert longest name ever," and then,
B13213.
yes, and then the next he gets destroyed, and the next one tries to do the same exact like Shining
Yeah.
reference.
It's so funny. And then also, there was a droid shouting, "Be afraid, be very afraid." Does anyone know what horror movie that's from?
The Fly.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm so proud of you, Art.
Yay!
Yes.
I know my references. I just don't know the movies they're from. I was quoting The Godfather years before I saw The Godfather. Like, this is just how my brain works.
All right. Yeah.
It
Well,
happens.
it's Jeff Goldblum, so I was happy to hear that.
Oh, can I just say the kid who plays Dean is Raphael Alexandro, and for Once Upon a Time fans, he was little Roland, Robin's kid, who was just so cute in his little cloak that the whole fandom just like fell in love with this little kid.
Oh,
So, yeah.
That was very cute.
Raphael, it's just a great job, little guy.
Gruella the Hutt. Is that his name?
Garbella.
Garbella.
Grabala.
Garbala. He is cousins to Jabba the Hutt. During Freemaker's adventures, he is just trying his hardest to get a casino up and running. That is his
Aw.
dream, is to be like a hotel casino owner.
Oh,
Never happening for him, apparently.
Yeah.
angry.
But his voice was so familiar to me, I had to look it up. And he was Master Shake from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And that's where I knew him from. Dana Snyder.
That's what
Yeah,
my
he's
brother
a
said too.
Very talented voice actor. Been in a bunch of
Yes.
stuff.
I love Aqua Teen Hunger Force. So I was like racking my brain. I'm like, that voice is so familiar to me.
Why did Poe say that Rey knew a little about the Force?
Because they're not actually friends, Candace.
Yeah, they're
He
not
He
said
doesn't
friends.
talk
my
to him.
friend. He said my friend.
Yeah, but like they're not actually friends.
Are they
They don't
just
talk very much.
acquaintances?
They're like when your best friend starts dating somebody, they are to each other what that person would be to you.
Bucky doesn't
Okay.
like it.
Doesn't like which part.
I don't know any of it.
Well,
None of the
He's
Lego?
offended on Ray's behalf.
I thought it
Bucky.
was fun that they used Poe as the main character. I mean, they were talking about the Force. But they did holiday special with Ray. But like all the swagger that he always manages. But I like that at the end he got into this lesson with the kid, with Dean, about that you cannot control fear, but you can choose whatever to do with it. So like moving
It was-
forward.
It was a good lesson for kids.
Mhm.
I feel like. And also, I love BB-8 just calling Poe out on his BS all the time.
I love that because he's like, no, you don't.
B-
He's
B-
like, I
BB-8 has no time for
wasn't
this.
showing off.
I
BB-8's
know.
like, yeah, you were.
I like he's the voice of reason.
Yeah.
I do like how sincere the Lego specials get. Like they'll be silly, they'll be meta, all of that, but the heart of them is very sincere, and I think that's why they work so well.
And the
Yeah.
great thing about all of them is like you can tell whoever is involved in this, they truly love Star Wars. Like they
Mhm.
with not just like with their references, but just like
With
it's
what it is.
parody. It's parody, but it's still like with reverence.
And how they have this license to play around. Because, for example, Bane, we saw in the beginning, he was like this lackey or servant to Vader, but we saw him in Rogue One, like in a blink and you miss it scene when Vader is like coming up out of his bath. He's the figure, like cape figure that was
That's true.
kneeling.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, and he's played by Tony Hale, who a lot of people will know as the voice of Porky in Toy Story 4, but also like Veep
Yes.
and Arrested Development. And
He was Buster.
Buster.
Right? Yeah.
I'm a monster. No, sorry.
Yeah.
He's just so funny. Veep is like one of my favorite shows of all time.
So
And
good. And
he's
obviously
right.
Porky.
yeah, he's just so talented. So I was glad he got to do his like hammy villain
He got that
thing,
villain.
and he had a really good villain laugh. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
Tony Hale, I didn't know you had that in you.
I just like
Oh.
that he kept referring to himself in the third person.
Yeah.
It's like, follow
Yeah.
Vinay. I'm like, you're Vinay.
Like,
Yeah.
dude, stop doing that.
For the longest time, I thought his name was Renee. I was like, what?
I mean,
Well, also, but
like, is he named after
Think about it.
Padme? Did he pick the same naming
I don't
convention?
know.
Yeah, he
Did
has that
Vader
E.
decide on this?
Maybe it was Vader. Like, no, my name is Rupert. No, you're gonna be Vinay.
You're Vinay.
I mean, think about it. He's referring to himself in the third person, but maybe he doesn't think of himself as Vinay. Like Vinay is just what was given to him. But
Oh.
also, I feel like he's also gone insane staying in that castle and
I
waiting
think he
for
was
people.
insane the
Also.
entire
Yeah.
time because he was still like serving Vader. Can you imagine?
I mean,
Well, I know
maybe
he
he
was
was
just
already
so-
insane and it just went to a whole new level.
Well, I'm just saying he stayed in that castle for how long? Because the first time we see him was with Vader.
At least 35 years, if
yeah,
not
Vader's
longer.
Wow.
long gone. So he's just staying in that hotel?
Yeah,
For
because at
what?
least, Rogue One. Yeah, 35 years.
Also, I'm just imagining the events of Vader Immortal unfolding and Mustafar healing and everything growing in Vinay's just in the castle, like, what's going on?
It
The
also
whole
reminds
time.
me of the VR game that you could play back in the day at Disney Springs. Like you would literally go to Vader's castle and invade it, Mustafar and everything. I was like, oh, I didn't see Vinay there.
Vinay was watching the whole
Yeah,
time.
Vinay was right behind us the entire time.
Vinay was hiding in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some kind of riffraff and
Yeah.
Rocky
Oh,
Horror.
it was called The Void. Yeah, that's what it was.
The setup though I thought was gonna be like House on Haunted Hill is where I thought they were going with it. But I like that it wasn't,
I think it's
so
like
much
the
like it.
classic horror, the kind that they can touch on and then people
Mhm.
know
Yeah.
what they're referencing.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
like the
Just add-
creepy gamekeeper or like,
Yeah.
housekeeper or something like that.
Exactly. Like the one that they spoof in Scary Movie too.
Yeah.
Anyway, anybody want to add anything?
Was this your first time watching any Star Wars Legos, Brie?
No, I've also played the video game.
Okay, cool.
But like
Star Wars
watching.
Lego
Was this the
video
first
game.
time?
Because there's a lot of like movies and TV shows.
I've seen
Did
I
you
don't
see the holiday
remember
special
when.
last year?
No.
Because that one is the most like this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Just wait till you watch Freemaker Avengers and see that.
No, I mean
I
like
wa-
in terms of post-sequel homage to the past,
Yeah.
like thematically, while still
Got it.
catching the heart and the theme and the
Well, maybe if I've only played the video games then.
Which are amazing. And I
Yeah,
cannot wait.
absolutely.
Now I'm like even more hyped for Skywalker Saga
yes, same.
Legos. That's going to be amazing.
Nice.
I'm counting down.
Noor-Hal, final thoughts?
I loved it. I enjoyed the similarity to the Treehouse of Horror and like The Simpsons, but also having our sweet cinnamon roll boy, aka Ben Solo, again, like in the holiday special. That was chef's kiss.
Candace, anything you want to add?
No, it was adorable. It was a nice treat. And I hope they do more of these. Let's get like
Yes.
Thanksgiving. Like a
Easter.
Yeah, Easter. Oh, God.
Valentine's Day.
Just
Oh,
imagine-
What,
that would be so
between
cute.
Ben and
Imagine-
Ray?
Yes,
Valentine's. Yes.
that's
I
the
like
episode
that.
where he comes back, and
I
it's just
like-
canon.
I
Or
like
it's
the
just-
way you think. But just imagine Lego Easter and BB-8 with his bunny ears and something like that.
That's adorable. Now I need this.
All right, so that's gonna do it for us. So, for more Space Waffle specific stuff, follow me on Twitter at Arezou. That's sort of like functioning as the show's account as well. So that's me on Twitter.
Oh, my Twitter is Candace is a geek.
Mine is Brie Osmude.
Mine is Noorhal, Noor-Hal.
And we'll put that in
Otherwise-
the show notes too.
Yeah, that'll all be in the show notes. Otherwise, you can find the Geeky Waffle Network at geeky_waffle on Twitter, thegeekywaffle.com. We are The Geeky Waffle on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/geekywaffle, where you can find all of our Waffles After Dark, our Discord server, all of that fun stuff there. And for all things straight out of home video, that is all through geeky_waffle as well, and all on our website. So thank you so much for listening. May the waffles be with you, and we hope you have a happily ever after until Ben Solo inevitably comes back.
So then you
Which
don't
will
have
be
a
even
happily
happier.
ever after? Okay.
Yes!
Okay. Because I was
It's a
like,
happily
that
ever
sounds
after.
like
No, wait.
That's not
You'll have
exactly
a
how
happily
these usually
when he
go.
comes back. When he comes back, not if.
When he goes back.
and
But
then
in the
you stay at a
meantime,
Sith resort.
enjoy the all-inclusive Sith resort.